Welcome to CIV 203. I'm Fritz Mansma, also known as Frederick, professor of the Social Sciences Department. The CIV 200 courses are different from the CIV 100 level courses that you have taken to get yourself here. Those were history. These are reading courses. It's history of a kind. We'll attempt to understand the minds of people in times very distant of our own. How did they approach the big questions of life? What did they think was important? How did they try to sort out their lives and their circumstances? But more important to me is not so much that we do this historically, but that we ask the questions at all. These are the big questions that any human being ought to face. And we will take a look. We will try to understand brilliant minds from the past, try to work out how they understood things, and with luck, you'll end this course with something extra in your mind, some extra furniture for thinking, some tools for thinking and analysis. That will be our goal. If you're watching this video, you must have found your way to the course Moodle page. That's a good start. While you're here, you'll notice in the top section headlined the next lesson. Here are the things that you should get started on. This is how you begin to work on the course. There are the video lectures. To begin our discussion, you'll notice that there's a link to a first reading. It's a document called The 5 Ways, which has 5 different proofs for the existence of God. Each one is a way to believe in God. I will say more about the context of this. I've taken the trickiest and the most important part of our first unit out so we can begin studying, and you can begin working on your papers because you'll be writing an analysis of this text. So you see under the next lesson there's a link. You can also look down into our first unit, the first material for the first few weeks of class, and find the more complete readings and also discussion forums for you to contribute to for the benefit of your participation grade. Reading questions, whatever you need to help you understand things, whatever vocabulary or necessary context, particular explanation that will allow you to make basic sense out of what you're reading. And then the discussion forum, which will be for later in the week, more meaty, more comprehensive, more thoughtful questions. Also on the Moodle page there is a weekly schedule. Because we're doing this online, it seemed to make more sense to think not in class days as units, but in whole weeks as units. And I've set out a kind of scheme, what you're responsible for throughout the week, and what I'm responsible for in giving you feedback on your work. That would be worth studying. If you keep up with this weekly schedule, you will do well. Also under the next lesson will be the links to our Zoom meeting. We will meet in our regular scheduled time. We'll meet online through Zoom. There will be something for each of the 3 sessions during the week, and the links are there according to your section. From the Moodle page, you can also download the syllabus. It will give you a more detailed overview of the course and how it works. One thing I'll touch on right now is the scheme for grading, which you see here at the bottom of page 2. Most of the assessment in this course depends on your papers. We have 3 units studying 3 different civilizations through classic text, and for each of those units you will write a paper. Every week there will be paper building exercises that will work on parts of your paper. I'll try to guide you in what you have to do to build up an argument. The paper should be an argument and interpretation of your own, but I'll instruct you in various, some technical things that perhaps you need to know to write a paper of this kind, but also start you thinking on parts of what you want your final analysis to be. If you apply yourself well to the exercises, that will pay you twice in the grades for the exercises themselves, and then you will write a better paper, which so you'll be graded again. You'll notice that there's a large component of participation for this course. You will earn your participation grade by contributing to live sessions and also to the reading and discussion forums. If you have trouble speaking in class or perhaps technical trouble connecting, you want to pay close attention to those discussion forums to make sure you show up and demonstrate your engagement all the way through. I will be giving you regular grades more or less every 2 weeks. I will give you a rating on how your participation has been so far. As we go through the semester, you want to be careful about copying. The books that we read are famous enough that there are digests, there are cheats and helpers, crutches that you can use to come up with an analysis. You should avoid this. The point for you is to come up with an interpretation of your own. It doesn't matter that other people have thought things about these books. What matters is that you can take a primary text and develop your means to understand it. I think everyone is familiar with what plagiarism is and how seriously we take it, and you should just remember that the same rules apply to anything in the course, whether it's a discussion forum post or a paper building exercise or the paper itself. It should be your original words, your original thoughts. Better for you to think on your own. There's some leeway for citing your sources, but make sure you do cite. If you feel compelled to do that, even if it's a little discussion forum post, even if it's a discussion, a definition from a dictionary that you post into the reading question forum. If it's somebody else's words, you need to acknowledge them. I'll close this video by saying a few words about our first reading. Here it is. You can download it from the Moodle page. And the thing to note is how beautifully clear it is, how smooth and light and lucid. That's probably not going to be your first experience. It's probably confusing. You will find unfamiliar things, and it may make no sense. It's a very short reading, not even 2 pages, but you may find that it takes a lot of effort to get through that short amount. My advice is that you treat it like a mathematical proof or even a puzzle. It has a basic logic that justifies that comparison. And keep working. Don't give up too easily. You can make sense of it. All unfamiliar things are strange in the beginning, but then if they have quality, they're clear in the end. This is like a sweet fruit with a thick rind, and you may have to persevere. I will say more about this text in the next video, but that's a good place to end.